So welcome viewers to my channel, and first of all a happy new year to all of you guys who are seeing it on 1st January 2022. And this is a brand new episode of TechTalk with Karthik, and he's my best friend, SS Karthik, and
Hi guys.
he owns a YouTube channel named Maniac, and he's also owner of a website that is his own portfolio, which is link is provided in the description.
All links are in the description.
So Karthik, are you ready for the interview?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, so can I ask you questions of any type?
Any type, it's fine.
So what's your name?
Oh, okay. My name is Karthik. For those of you who don't know, again, I'll just introduce myself.
Sure.
I run a YouTube channel called Maniac. I post some tech videos, sometimes more heavily focused on Linux. I also have my own portfolio website which I built and have not touched or maintained since many months. And hopefully by the end of this interview, I can answer all these questions and also convince all of you to switch to Linux.
Yeah. Just ask your name in order to check if you are ready to offer the interview or not.
No, I am ready.
Yeah. So my first question goes here is that how did you actually get interest in YouTubing?
Okay, so YouTubing is something that I've always wanted to do since a little kid, because I don't know, since I was in class 2 or 3, that was when I first started watching YouTube channels. Actually, that was the point in my life where I started taking a real interest in technology and stuff. That was the first time when I had my own tech device. So the first time that I got a tablet, this is the one. On it, I used to watch many YouTube channels, and one of the YouTube channels earliest that I started watching, that I watch to this day, is Linus Tech Tips, and I believe that he is one of my biggest inspirations to creating a channel. You know, he started from nothing, one employee in his home garage, to now almost 50 employees under him, 3 companies, and a huge countless millions of subscribers, many channels and everything. So, I've always wanted to create videos and talk about what I feel, talk about the things I do, show off whatever I've created and how I did it and stuff like that. So I've just been watching YouTube since a long time, and as soon as I was eligible to make some content, I started making content.
So, what was the first video which you made, if you remember?
I've made a lot of videos which are not on the internet right now. I made I don't know if I should reveal a clip of this, but maybe I'll show a clip of this. Right now it doesn't exist on the internet. So I made the first video that I made was an unboxing video of some sorts, where my father bought a new keyboard and mouse, and I thought I'll make an unboxing video like Linus and everything and record. That video does not exist anymore. It is very cringe, very funny. I don't want anyone to see it, so it's not existing. I'll show a clip of it now.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I have some tech products here that I'm going to unbox for you. To start off, I have this Mercury mouse.
So that was my first video, but the first serious video that is still up on my channel is about space propulsion systems, because alternative space propulsion systems. Because at first when I started this channel, I thought I'd do space videos, and then sort of it somehow molded into some sort of explainer videos, and then I started doing a tech review, a physical tech review. So I reviewed this tab. And then as I switched to Linux, my content just gradually became more Linux focused. But right now I'm trying to, bridge out from just tech and just make content about anything that I really want to convey about. It will still be mostly tech focused, but yes.
Yeah, so you are used Windows?
Yes, I've been a Windows user all my life until 2020.
Yeah, so you told me that you have used the Linux till 2020.
No. Linux from 2020 onwards.
No, from 2020 started using Linux.
Yeah.
Before that you were using Windows.
Windows, so all my life.
Yeah,
I've been through since childhood basically. Like the first computer I ever used was my dad's computer running Windows XP.
And why did you change?
I knew how to use MS Paint perfectly. I still do. That is one of the first programs that I used. Then slowly Windows 7. When I got my own laptop, Windows 7, and then I upgraded to Windows 10. And coming to why I changed to Linux, why I shifted to Linux.
I have a small question.
Yeah, sure.
Why did you actually change to Windows 10 from Windows 7?
Okay. So it was mostly actually just the feeling of I want all the new features. I want to experience all the new tile look and everything like that. And I heard that Windows 8 was obviously pretty bad everywhere. And my laptop, which I was using, did not have a touch screen. So Windows 8 didn't make much sense. Yeah. So I shifted to Windows 10. It was a very bad choice. Windows 10 was slower than 7. Obviously, it had a lot more features, but it was way more, demanding on RAM and CPU and everything. It was very slow. I spent about 6-7 months on Windows 10. The first few videos, that space video that I talked about, alternative space propulsion, that was edited on Windows only. Yeah. So the first few videos were edited on Windows, but I just couldn't take it. Now, if I wanted, I could have gone back to just Windows 7, and my life would have been sort of okay. But I thought maybe I'll try something else, and that's how I switched to Linux, I guess.
And now you have suddenly shifted to Linux. So what was the main reason that you have shifted to Linux? What is the main motive that
the switch to Linux has been building up for a long time. Every single day I use Windows, some or the other issue kept cropping up. First of all, it was very slow. Windows 10.
Obviously. For low spec PC.
Yeah, because my PC currently has a Pentium processor and 4 gigs of RAM, and running Windows on that is very, very hard.
I experienced it because I too have a RAM with a Intel 2 Core Duo.
Core 2 Duo, yeah. So, yeah, you're in a similar situation. Yeah. So, it had been sort of slowly building up. It was way too slow. I tried, reducing the amount of background processes and stuff like that, trying to exit things out of Task Manager and things like that. But it was still very slow, and Windows updates also was one critical this thing. It suddenly just comes out. I never experienced the forceful updating, but it would again and again prompt me to update. Thankfully, I've never experienced the forceful update where it just shuts down your computer in between whatever you're doing. But the constant notification itself, that update notifier running in the background, slowed down all the other tasks.
Okay.
So that eventually forced me to switch to Linux.
So there are actually many distros in Linux, right?
Yeah.
So what all you have used all the distros, and which one did you like the most?
Okay. This is going to be a long list.
Why?
Sure. I'll tell. This is going to be a long list, but for viewers who don't know what a distro is, a Linux distro or a distribution is basically a specific set of Linux operating system which bundles together a few apps and the UI, how it looks and feels. That is the desktop environment and things like that. If you want to learn more, I made a video about what a distribution actually is. So you can check that out. But basically, I've been through a lot of Linux distributions.
Nice.
I've been through in the sense that I've tried a lot of distributions, but I'll just talk about what distributions I use mainly for a long term, at least a month, because it's still not been a full year me switching to Linux. I think it's only 6-7 months switched to Linux, but already I've been through so many distributions. So first I switched, the first time when I switched from Windows to Linux. Alright, so the first Linux distro that I started out with when I was switching from Windows was something called Linux Mint. And I chose this mainly because it just looked more familiar to me, because there was a taskbar, a start menu. The UI was very Windows-like, the minimize, maximize, close buttons, desktop icons. It was all very familiar. It's just like Windows that I've been using since many years. Now at that time I didn't know that you can change the look by editing it, adding stuff, changing the themes, or even just completely installing a new UI and apps, that is installing a new desktop environment. So first I went for that. I stayed on Linux Mint for about 2-3 months. The longest I've ever been on a Linux distribution is Linux Mint, because I still was sort of a noob. I didn't know what to do. I was still slowly learning about Linux, installing apps, customizing and installing different desktop environments and stuff like that. The Linux Mint was just basically my gateway into the Linux world. After that, I briefly switched to Fedora. I was on it for like very short time, 1 or 2 days, because it was a really nice distribution. But the problem is I could not get Wi-Fi drivers, so my Wi-Fi was not working. I had to be on USB tethering all the time, and I couldn't do that anymore. So I again switched to another distribution, that's Pop OS. Now Pop OS is, you asked which one is my most favorite. I think Pop OS is my favorite. I mean, I've not really had time to think about it, but whenever something goes wrong in any distribution that I'm trying out, I always just land back on Pop OS. So I think, clearly that makes Pop OS my most reliable and favorite distribution, because I can always rely on Pop OS. There's nothing wrong that's going to happen in Pop OS. I mean, maybe for Linus it happened. He deleted his entire UI. that issue is fixed. It's fine. But for me till now, Pop OS has never disappointed me. So Pop OS is my favorite. And another distribution, honorable mention, that I would like to do is Kubuntu. I've used Kubuntu for the Kubuntu. So Kubuntu is basically Ubuntu, but with the KDE look, KDE desktop environment. So that includes a taskbar and start menu and stuff like that. Obviously, as soon as I got into Kubuntu, even though it had the taskbar and start menu and stuff like that, I just completely deleted all that and made my own panels using a nice app called Lattedoc. You should see I posted a few pics about it on Twitter, how I customized it. So that was a really good distro, but I don't know why I just felt like coming back to Pop OS, mainly because I don't know, I just don't know why. I just love Pop OS. So I guess that just proves my favorite operating system, Pop OS. Another honorable mention that I would like to do just before we end this is Elementary OS. Elementary OS is also a really good desktop. Elementary OS is also a really good distro. And the problem with Elementary OS for me is the new version, Elementary OS 6, same problem that I had with Fedora. I'm not able to get Wi-Fi drivers properly installed. So if I could get Wi-Fi drivers properly installed, I would switch to that. Or if I could get my own Ethernet whenever I start getting my own Ethernet connection, then probably I'd use Elementary. But just because I didn't get a Wi-Fi driver doesn't mean you will. I mean, I have a very weird Wi-Fi card. So I urge you guys, if you're trying to Linux, try Elementary and Fedora also, because for you it might just work fine without any driver also. My Wi-Fi card is a really niche Broadcom one. It doesn't work. So with all distros. So yeah. But as far as my favorite distro goes, I mean, we are recording the audio for this interview right now on Audacity in Pop OS. So Pop OS is my favorite distribution. I guess you can call it that.
So you had much experience on Linux about for 6 months.
Right now, yeah.
So what's the suggestion on Linux for the viewers?
Yeah, so if you guys want to try Linux, first thing is it is not going to be easy. I know that you definitely need to learn some stuff. You might need to, in fact, I'm sure you definitely need to open the terminal for a few of these things, but don't be afraid. A lot of guides are there online you can do. And as far as the distribution, it's really up to people. As I said in my video, there is no perfect distro. There's no perfect distro that fits everyone, because technically if such a thing existed, then why would I hate Windows and Mac? The problem with Windows and Mac is that they're just too mainstream. The problem with Windows and Mac is that they have the philosophy of the same shoe fits every single person. It's not like that. Some people might really like Windows, and for them Windows might be perfect, but it can't be perfect for everyone. So Linux, there are loads of distros. It depends on the person.
Yeah.
And in fact, even if you install a distro, it will still evolve as you start using it and editing
obviously.
it. So each person's desktop is different. So I would say there is no perfect distro that you will have to stay on forever. But I would say that starting point, Pop OS is really good. Linux Mint, the one which I started with, is also really good. Especially if you are coming from Windows, if you want like a familiar layout, taskbar, start menu, things like that. I would say Linux Mint is good, and then maybe sort of experiment with Pop OS and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you say that the guides now is better than the guides in the past.
Yes, definitely. Especially, I don't know how many of you watched Linus Tech Tips, but they did this Linux challenge where they switched to Linux for a few weeks, and that brought a lot of positive attention. And now, to the entire Linux community, and now everyone is starting to refine their guides, and in fact, even the developers of distributions and Linux applications, they are starting to refine their apps so that you may not even need guides and stuff like that to accomplish things on Linux. So yeah, it's really a good time for Linux now. Everything is on the up. Thanks to Linus, people are giving more attention to Linux. Linux developers are rising, and Steam, the game company, they are also thanks to their new console. I think it's called the Steam Deck. Yes, Steam Deck. So thanks to that, since that runs on Linux, obviously they're supporting every Linux distribution basically. They have their own system. So now gaming on Linux is also becoming better. So yeah, all in all, it's a really good time for Linux. And if you are considering switching to Linux, give it a go. It's really an amazing time to start switching to Linux. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're a person who is bored from Apple or Apple Mac OS and Windows, try using Linux so that you'll get some engagement in the future.
Yeah. Linux is a fantastic option for everyone to use if you're just tired of Windows. Just give it a go. Try it.
Yeah, best alternative.
Yeah, basically the only alternative.
Yeah. The sequel of this series will be launched soon, and do like, share and subscribe. Until next time, be updated.